I don't want to play anymore. Just kill me. I don't want to play. Oh, God.
Hello, Bert.
No, leave me alone, you bastard. Have you had me suffer enough?
Once again, I'm very proud of you for making it through Freddy's Dead. It's a great movie, so I'm sure you had a good time. If you recall, when you first got in this room, I left you a tool. Now's gonna be your opportunity to use that tool to make your way to your salvation.
There's a tool this whole time?
Of course, you found it next to you whenever you woke up in this room.
Where?
Wherever you left it, you fool.
Wait a minute, that's besides the point.
Yep, that's the tool.
Well, you're. Is this to cut my foot off? Because I'm willing to do that at this point.
I would implore you not to do that. That's not a good plan. I'm leaving you a box today. Its contents are of grave importance for your escape.
This box?
Yes, that's the box.
Wait a minute. What's in the box?
This is where you'll have to use the tool to find out.
No. What's in the fucking box?
It's of grave importance, Bert.
Fine, I'll play your stupid ass game.
You are one step closer to salvation, Bert.
Okay. I'm gonna kill myself.
No, Bert. That is against the rules. I thought I made myself very clear in this sense.
Fine. Oh, God. Why? Like, I'll always know what you did last summer. Jeepers Creepers 3. Seed of Chucky. Texas Chainsaw The Next Generation. Not even Matthew McConaughey can save that piece of shit. Candyman 3 Day of the Dead. I didn't even know they fucking made that. Leprechaun 4 in space? Nothing good happens in space!
Well, Bert, seeing how you're going to be tied up for the foreseeable future, I guess I'll go ahead and skedaddle. Goodbye.
You bastard!
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Brett Man's over here. It's time for us to review Saw 6. We're getting way up into the numbers now. If you haven't seen our last few Saw reviews, we'll post a link to those right over Brett's head, so be sure to check those out. We also have the new ones coming out here. We got 7, we got 8, and then Spiral's going to be coming very soon, so we're excited. So be sure to get in on that. Brett, how's it going today? You jacked or what?
Man, dude, I'm always shy, but I just now realized something. The more I do this, the more I'm just going to have chronic neck pains, and it's going to be bad. And just besides the point, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very swell. I'm excited to get in this one, man. I actually quite like this movie, so I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, this is like the last good one before we might be going into some rants here on our feature of the Saw series.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
All right, let's go with my favorite job of the whole movie is to mispronounce names in the cast. Which the cast today, we got, of course, returning for the six times, Tobin Bell playing Jigsaw and John Kramer. We got Costas Mandalore, Betsy Russell, and then, of course, Peter Outerbridge, which is directed by Kevin Greutert.
Good stuff. The thing's about, obviously, it follows the story of Jack and Jill, and by Jack I mean John and Jill, and
like that Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my gosh, no! It follows the same. It follows the story of Hoffman and Jill and all that. That's all that stuff's going on, in the midst of all that, you have this insurance guy who works for this insurance company who's out there freaking deciding who lives and dies, and he gets put in a damn game, and he goes through all this crazy stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, there's spinning merry-go-rounds, all kinds of crazy shit. So we're gonna get into it. So let's start off with some things that you liked about the movie, my friend.
Yeah, the first positive I have in this, of course, is Tobin Bell as Jigsaw, and just his flashbacks in this movie, talking to William about like just the whole philosophy of who lives and who dies, the insurance thing that William created, and just to hear like John's response into that, I always find that very intriguing for that. So, Brad, what do you think about that? Because again, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the flashbacks for the most part were good. It's actually a negative of mine actually at one point, because at the beginning of the movie it throws a lot of flashbacks up to stuff that was actually we've already seen before, like the Jill getting the box and the autopsy and things like that. So that was a little bit of a negative at that moment, but overall the flashbacks were done well, and they were effective in bringing back John Kramer and Tobin Bell. So I liked most of them. I just don't like the ones where it's actually showing you stuff that you've already seen in previous movies. That kind of slows things down a little bit for me. But overall, I get it. I mean, you're just kind of building that story up. So, but overall, yeah. But your boy, Mr. Easton, William Easton, he was fantastic, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. He was a fun character to follow for this big game in this movie.
Yeah, he was, and I like the way they did him really well. Actually, they set him up nicely. They had a nice little intro to him. You got to meet everybody in his office. I really like that. Whenever they're kind of once you get his introduction to him, and he's not like a lot of these movies where when you get introduced to the main game, like you haven't met the character yet. Like in Saw 5, where it's like you just meet them all, and then Saw 7, you're like, oh well, I guess you kind of get the intro in that one, but anyway. And then Saw, all of them, like you have these games, and you don't know who's in them. But this one, you actually get an introduction to him first, which is kind of cool, and I think that works nicely. And not only that, but you meet everybody in his office that he's working with, and you get to see some of his interactions and know a little bit about him before he gets trapped. So,
yeah, that was really neat too. And just like the connection that we get with William in this one, I really enjoyed too. I definitely enjoyed it more than the whole Rig, like following Rig and his path of just learning to let go or just not pursue. But yeah. And just seeing his wife and kid getting trapped on one end, and this is spoiler. And then the other girl, like, ain't she the attorney girl? Or no, the reporter.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's the reporter. Just if I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments section.
It's actually well, yeah, it's the reporter, but that's actually his sister, and then the other.
That's what I was getting ready to get to. Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
Revealing being the sister at the end, and then and that's when William ultimately seals his fate. So I enjoyed following all that. That was a big positive for me.
Yeah, that was a cool little twist there at the end. I like that quite a bit there, where you're thinking the whole movie that the lady and the kid are his family. Although it was just creative writing, I guess you could say. Not so creative, I guess. Oh, here's your family, but his family's just his sister. So like that's really only there for us as the audience to kind of get submerged into this mystery, to this twist, I guess you could say. Like, yeah, I mean, if you really sit down and think about it, Jigsaw had no reason to refer to his sister as his family, because it's just him. Like you could just say here's your sister. There's really no reason for all those word games and stuff. So I always thought that was a little bit weird, but at the end of the day, it's still a nice little twist, and I didn't see it coming in the slightest at the end. So I thought that was kind of cool.
And that gives the motivation for his son to pull that lever for him to die.
Yeah, most definitely, dude.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, man. I like. I'm sorry. Going back to the flashbacks and stuff, what I did enjoy about that is making this story between Jigsaw and Easton more personal, and you get all these interactions with each other where they meet at the party, and he's like, "Oh, so in a sense, you choose who lives or dies," and like all that, and then he goes back even farther, and you get this story where John is trying to get insurance coverage for some cancer treatments, and he gets turned down. And I always thought that was cool. It does a good job of making this whole thing feel personal for Jigsaw, and then whenever Easton is captured, instead of Jigsaw using the Billy puppet, he's actually showing up as himself, which makes it even more personal too. And I really like that as well, because it's just kind of it's more personal of a vendetta, if you will, for Jigsaw, and that's really it's probably the most personal game for him that he's done all along. Honestly,
Yeah, it really is when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. It kind of adds a little bit to it. I think it was a really cool decision to make right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, like the last positive for me, I really enjoyed the traps in this one because actually, like you keep on saying, it's personal. Like having his work colleagues involved in this game, so him really making that choice of who lives and who dies, just really each one has an impact towards William and his psychological well-being. And I just thought it was really great. Again, just to use his philosophy on his own co-workers. I thought that was just freaking brilliant. Big thumbs up on that.
Yeah, it was cool. And that was also neat too. Yeah, you're using his formula, right, to decide who lives and dies in the games. Like the older lady and the younger fella there and the one. That was kind of cool. I like the way that they're using his vice against him, I guess you could say. But that's cool. A few other things. I feel like this movie overall had the largest step up in production value from what you could sell, and I just felt like overall it felt like it was a really well produced movie. It some of the other ones felt kind of cheap, and then this one feels like it's actually you can actually kind of start to see that budget coming out. So it had a great production. I thought. Like the lighting and overall, like when Easton's like in his office and stuff, and he's about to get captured, and you can see some lightning and stuff or whatever's going on, and the power goes out. All that just seems like a really well produced movie. And then even Jigsaw himself, little Billy Boy, has increased his production value in his traps too. Like when he comes swinging down, dude, and he's got the lights going on, he's like, "Oh, you can pick her, and she gets illuminated, or you can pick him, and he gets illuminated," and he's just swinging around like he's got a production value here. I like that as well. And yeah, they did a great job with all that. And it's kind of a departure from 5. Obviously, this movie is gory, but I didn't feel it was gory just for the sense of being gory. I felt like all the gore kind of served the purpose of the movie, and it did a pretty good job.
Because it wasn't a personal attachment to the characters, like especially like for William. So we kind of feel for him making all these tough choices. So yeah, I agree with you. It's just gory on that perspective of why it mattered.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really like that, and it didn't seem over the top with the gore and loaded with CGI and stuff like a lot of these movies have been. Some of the movies, anyway. So I like that. I also like the bringing Jill into the mix a little bit more in the flashbacks, like getting her more involved and finding out she actually is somewhat involved in everything, and she knows some stuff that we didn't think she knew prior. And I thought the flashback, the dynamic between Tobin Bell and Hoffman. And Amanda, you had the 3 of those together in that flashback to the rack. I thought that was a really cool sequence. All of them together, and then Jill obviously comes in too. It's just cool seeing them all interact with each other. And just overall, man, I feel like this movie, you could really get a sense of the mystery that was starting to build over the long-term course of these movies. And this one is really like, I remember when it came out, I'm like, oh, dude, this is building up to something epic. And like everything's kind of coming together. There's a huge mystery beyond just this one movie kind of building, and you can kind of see it coming together here in this one. So I always thought that was cool. I think it's pretty much it for me, though.
Oh, yeah. And I like to go back to the positives real quick. I loved when Hoffman went batshit crazy at that police station, killing Perez and all that. I don't know how we forgot that. I just now remembered it. So apologize for being inconsistent with this video, but I have to address that because that is like almost the most badass thing in the whole Saw franchise, in my opinion.
Dude, yeah,
because he went bonkers. Because we thought Perez was dead, but it revealed later that she was just getting protected. And she is like the next closest one to figure out Hoffman's bullshit, and they almost got him. And then he just pulls out that freaking little dagger and just starts going batshit crazy with it. And using Strom's hand that was, squeezed off from the previous trap from the last movie, and to put fingerprints all over the place to make it look like Strom freaking did it.
Yes.
Genius.
That was awesome, man. I absolutely loved. Yeah, that's one thing I absolutely loved about this movie. Aside from the main trap, is that whole cat and mouse between Hoffman and the agents. Because, like you said, we didn't know what was going on with Strom's fingerprints yet, because it wasn't revealed until later in the movie that he actually took his hand off and threw it in there. I mean, we figured it was something like that because we also obviously saw him getting squished, but we didn't know exactly how he was able to do that. So I always thought that was kind of interesting until the end. And then just this whole little cat and mouse thing where you're like, okay, they're kind of onto him at this point. Like they're acting like they kind of know it's him. And then they have the tape there and it's just like, right now you're feeling helpless. Right now you're feeling helpless going on in the background as they're questioning him and stuff. And like, and you know, that suspense is building up as that tape's going and going. And eventually it's his voice and he just fucking goes batshit, dude. He throws the coffee, fucking stabbing people, dude. And then like, that was badass, dude. That was one of my favorite moments of the whole franchise for sure.
Yeah, some John Wick shit right there.
Absolutely. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's it for me too. You want to go ahead and just jump right into the negatives? I really don't have a mix.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, actually, my negative for this one is again, like you were like explaining there, I like the whole like Jill involvement, but I felt like what could have really been cool is if we saved all that for part 7. In my opinion, and then just in the like kind of like the big twist at the end is that it was revealed that Jill was involved and putting the reverse bear trap on Hoffman. We still get that badass thing at the end of the movie, but like we only get that, and then all the other stuff prior to that, like with the flashbacks, we get in part 7. Like just,
that would have been cool.
I should say I didn't like the whole like revealing everything in this one when I was more focused on the main game than I was with Hoffman and Jill.
Yeah, I mean, I was still into the Jill and Hoffman stuff really, I mean, quite a bit in this movie. I thought that, you know, they did a pretty good job of subtly putting her in there, and I just wished, I mean, we'll get into 7 here obviously soon, so I'll save my thoughts on that for later, but yeah, I see what you mean though. I see what you mean. It would have been cool now that you're looking at it.
Yeah, I feel like they were putting all their like eggs into one big basket with 6. So that's kind of like why I think 7 was a complete dumpster fire. Again, we'll get to that. But yeah, I just would have liked this particular story to be fleshed out more versus just throwing everything along with the main game that I was actually really enjoying and want more. So that's like a negative for me.
You know, that's a good point. I think overall, like, the main game was actually fantastic in this one. Nice change of pace from the 5th one where you didn't give 2 shits about it. I like the way they actually took the time. Yeah, dude, I like the way they took the time to actually build this one up and give you something to care about from the opening. And it was cool. Really, I mean, my only really big negative for this movie is the fact that I didn't really like the fact that they started bringing in. This is when you really, for the first time, see Jigsaw bring in truly innocent people and throw them into these games, like the old lady and the dude and the janitor guy. Like, oh, he's a smoker. Oh, wow, big deal. So, like, I mean, you know, I always just thought that was kind of weird and a departure from Jigsaw's motives. So it didn't really seem consistent with what he would usually do. Sure, maybe like, you know, you could loop in the guys on the spinny thing for, you know, for the same reasons you're looping in Easton, sure. But then like you have this old lady here, and then like you also have this wife and kid and I mean they weren't really never any danger, but still they're still getting trapped, and they're in the air as well. The reporter is just kind of there being trapped too. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. And you don't really see, and it's not like it's this game that Hoffman set up. This is one that obviously Jigsaw set up because he, you know, he set it up. He's still doing the videos and everything. So this is all his idea. So it just, I don't know. It's just a strange departure from his motives and stuff. And it's something I never really got on board with.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's pretty much negatives for me, man. Like just that one big one I wanted to address.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah, and actually, go ahead.
I will say this whole thing seemed like it was building up to something like epic at the end of it. Like, you know, but whenever they decided to put Hoffman in the trap, I didn't think that was much of a twist. Obviously, him escaping it was like that was pretty badass when he got out of it. But Jill putting him in the trap wasn't a surprise to me at all. I thought that was what the whole movie was kind of building up to. So I was a little bit disappointed in that being less of a twist than what I was kind of expecting this thing to build up to. But at the end of the day, it was still pretty badass to see him bust out of there.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, so that is it for me. That's all I think about the movie. So you want to go ahead and go to what we've been doing at this Saw review series with Best Trap?
Most definitely.
All right, what do you think is the best trap?
Mine is the spinny wheel merry-go-round of danger kind of thing. Yeah, obviously, I did think about doing. I thought I liked the one with the lungs and the thing. I thought that one was kind of cool too. But over at the end of the day, how could you not do the little spinny device thing? That was awesome, and it does a pretty good job of building up suspense as that's going on. It's cool.
Yeah, and it was just such a tense thing too, because you really didn't know who was going to make it out of it. Because like we were like right there with William, like who would you like save and all that. So
Yeah,
like
right?
I just thought it was just a complete tense thing, and and it just looked so damn cool too.
It looked cool, and I tell you what, man, freaking damn Outerbridge Peter did a great job in that. Just with the panic on his face and everything, and just like not being sure of who to pick, and just you could tell that he was in a shitty situation and didn't want to be involved. So yeah, I thought that was fantastic, man.
Yeah, it really is. So big props to the merry-go-round kill for sure.
Absolutely, dude.
Alrighty, so let's get to the rating, my friend. What I'll actually go first. I'm going to give just a 4 out of 5. Big step up from Saw 5. Like I cared about the main game. I like the traps in this one. I like the cat and mouse between Hoffman and the detectives. But then again, I kind of wish we saved the whole Jill involvement more towards 7 and just make that whole movie about her. Like better, like using the stuff we have in this one and 7. So 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.0 as well. I think it's definitely one of the better installments in the franchise, and it's honestly, aside from the first movie, I think it's probably got the best main game in it. Like as far as making you actually care about it, because the rest of them are like, yeah, like maybe. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I like this more than Jeff's games in the third one. But anyway, overall,
Jeff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's probably got the best main game outside of the first movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is going to be easy math right there. We're just going to take a good old trip to the Tosche station to get them good old power converters.
But I was going into Tosche station to pick up some power converters.
Ooh! All right.
Yeah, so guys, I'm sorry to say, but this is like the last good review we'll have. The next 2 coming up are not going to be pretty. So let's go ahead and just get to it. So guys, what did you all think about our review on Saw 6? Did you really enjoy the game and just the whole cat and mouse game between Hoffman and the agents, or are you kind of like on the side where it's just it's okay with you? I like the other ones that came before it. Let us know in that comment section down below, and let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat, Spotify, TikTok, and Apple freaking Podcast. Those links are in the description for you to find.
And I forgot to put the TikTok down there, but that's okay. I'll try to get for when this review series is over. So be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe, because it does help out the channel. And of course, ring that bell, that Tobin bell. Ding, ding, ding. So you know when the next video or the next game is up and running.
And we will play with you very soon in a game of life or death.
Peace, guys.